So today we have a guest speaker, and kind of a guest. She's been here a few times before. You may not recognize her in the sense of her last name, Rochelle Christensen. Of course, we know Jamie Christensen is her daughter, who's over in Japan right now, going to school there. But we have Ron and Gail Aylesworth is her parent. That's her mother and father. And so Rochelle has been involved in mission work, I think, almost her whole life. And we're glad to have her here today, and she's going to share with us, I think, some things that she has been doing, and she's probably going to give us an invitation as well. Rochelle, welcome to the Caldwell Church.
Thank you.
You're home.
Thank you. Thank you. It is good to be back in Idaho. Moved away about 5 years ago, and I have missed it back over here. But what God's been doing in my life over these last 5 years, over the last lots of years, has been amazing. And I want to start off by thanking all of you for wrapping my daughter around with your prayers and your love, because I know that's meant so much to her as she's been overseas, and it means a lot to me knowing that she has an amazing church family helping to look after her. So thank you very much for that. And if she hasn't updated you lately, which wouldn't surprise me, she is having a wonderful, wonderful time, and she is just getting so much out of this year, and she is looking forward to coming back home in August. So I'm sure she will have lots of stories and pictures to share with all of you. So thank you. And I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? Who will go for us?" I answered that call back in 22. I had been working as a preschool teacher at Hoodview Adventist School and having a great time and looking forward to continuing my teacher career. But I got an opportunity to do something else. Jim Reynolds, he's the president and founder of Ultimate Mission. It's a nonprofit based in Oregon City. And he asked if I would come on part-time to help him out with the mission. And I was doing half-day preschool. I can help you out with this mission. It's a mission that interested me, and so I agreed. And by the end of that school year, both he and I had decided that we should make this full-time mission. It's not exactly where I thought my life was going. I was teaching, and I was looking forward to finding a 3rd or 4th grade classroom to teach in. And you would think it would be a hard choice for me to give up a good teaching career in our Adventist schools, and I was loving it. But this wasn't a hard choice for me. Because you see, about 15 years ago, I learned something about God and about how He works, and I learned something about myself. God has given each and every one of us this thing inside of us, this thing that we do, and it makes us smile. It's this thing that it may be hard. Actually, it usually is hard, and it's often stressful. But while you're doing it, and you're like, oh, I gotta get this done, there's just something inside of you that's just having a ball. And then when you get done, and you're exhausted, and you're thinking back on everything, you're going, oh, that was exhausting, but that was so good. When can I do it again? I learned God gave us that thing because He wants to use that thing. He wants to use it to tell others about Him and to do His work. And He wants us to have fun doing it. Well, when I kind of discovered this about myself, it's like, okay, what is that thing about me? What gets me just so excited and full of joy? Wasn't too hard to answer. I love cooking, and I love eating, and I love entertaining and having people come over and opening my home to them, and I love to travel. Okay, these are cool things. And now I'm realizing God doesn't just want me to do that as a hobby. He wants to use that for something else. So, about 15 years ago, I started keeping my eyes open for what God had in store for me. And so when Jim offered me the opportunity to travel, to cook food, to eat food, to entertain people, and to teach, I knew God had just offered me this wonderful present. You see, when he tells you to go, he's already got things set up for you. And so I decided to go full-time with this mission. Let me show you a little bit about what this mission does.
There is a pressing issue that affects women worldwide. They are undervalued, abused, and the prevalence of child marriages, it's heartbreaking. These realities contribute to alarmingly high rates of mental health issues among girls and women in these communities. At Ultimate Mission, we believe in the power of transformation. We hire the wives of Bible workers and pastors, many of whom are undereducated and unemployed, and we offer them a path to purpose. With a monthly stipend and comprehensive training, we empower these women to become agents of change in their villages, to be village health care workers. This initiative not only supports their families, but also enables them to work alongside their husbands, bringing healing and the gospel to their communities. We have witnessed remarkable changes in the lives of our workers and those that they serve. By providing essential health services, these women demonstrate to others that they are valued and that their lives matter. Our mental health courses focus on teaching active listening and offering non-judgmental support, ensuring that every woman feels heard and understood. These women are equipped to empower mothers with skills to raise healthy, happy children. They show that small changes can lead to significant improvements in quality of life. And through education, we aim to challenge the stigma associated with being born a girl. Most importantly, they bring hope into thousands of homes. The hope that their children will not only survive past the age of 5, but thrive and grow. Hope for a better tomorrow. Our ultimate goal is to transform healing for the body into healing for the soul. We desire for our workers and their husbands to work alongside each other, being the guiding light in their communities, to work as Jesus worked, and to lead their neighbors into a relationship with Him. But we can't do this alone. We need your help. Your support can amplify our efforts to empower women, strengthen families, and transform communities. Together, we can create lasting change.
I met these beautiful girls a couple years ago when we went to India, and we did a health camp and an evangelism series in a small village. Can you imagine these girls growing up in a country that doesn't appreciate them? According to the UN, globally, 1 in every 5 girls is formally married or put into an informal union before the age of 18. In the least developed countries, that number almost doubles. And 36% of girls are married before the age of 18, and 10% of those girls are married before they're 15. In India, it's the bride's family that is required to pay the dowry. And the younger she is and the less educated she is, the smaller the dowry. So it's cheaper to marry your daughter off when she's little. And a dowry can easily be 6 months' wage, often more. Infanticide is still practiced. In 2022, 80 children were reported killed at birth in India, most of them girls. And you know the unreported cases is way higher. Girls are unwanted, wives are abused, and the police do nothing. Can you imagine these girls growing up in that place? So, Ultimate Mission is working on putting Jesus' initiative into practice. Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations. So what's a disciple? Can someone share with me? What do you think a disciple is? Follower of Jesus? Merriam-Webster defines it as one who accepts and assists in spreading the doctrine of another. Our doctrine, of course, is Jesus's. So we have trained over 300 women now in 5 different countries. Right now we are in India, Nepal, Ethiopia, South Sudan, and the Philippines. And we're going into country number 6 in August, El Salvador. Over 300 women are learning how to be village healthcare workers, how to go to their neighbors and into their communities, take vital signs, get good nutrition to them, teach kids about washing their hands and drinking clean water. Did you know if you could teach a kid how to do that, you cut the infant mortality rate in half? So it doesn't take a surgeon or an MD to change lives forever. We provide them with the tools that they need. We provide them with blood pressure cuffs, stethoscopes, thermometers, scales, everything they need to weigh children, make sure they're growing healthy, to help pregnant mamas make sure that they're growing healthy so that their babies are healthy. We teach them about lifestyle diseases. That's a big thing everywhere. We know that term here. We know lifestyle diseases are a huge problem here, but you don't have to be obese to have lifestyle problems. Lifestyle problems are an issue all over the world. And as we've been learning more about the plight of girls in these countries, we realized we needed to address the mental health of people as well. And we know mental health is a growing problem. And so we teach them the basics of just how to listen, how to be a safe place for another woman to come along and share their struggles. Sometimes that's all you need, is to have somebody else who hears you, who sees you, and who still cares about you. So these women are following God's call. They are going into their communities, and they are sharing the practical love of Jesus with their neighbors. Many of these women are working as Jesus worked, going from village to village, healing the sick, caring for their hearts. And most of our workers live in remote villages. This is a village in Nepal, several hours out of Kathmandu. The road systems are not great. It took us several hours to travel out there. And we learned something about these villages in Nepal is you'll have one small village, 30 to 50 families, and then you go down the mountain and then up the other side of the mountain to get to the next village. These villages are far removed from each other, and it's half a day's travel to go from village to village. And our workers are doing that. It's amazing what they are feeling called to do. I grumble and complain when I have to sit on a plane for 17 hours to get to my next destination. But these women on the regular basis are walking half a day to go visit somebody and to share Jesus' love with them. These workers are filling a need, and they're becoming respected in their communities. And when asked, they're ready to give a defense for their belief. The pride these women have for their work is very obvious. These ladies in the Philippines, I tell you guys, the Philippines are on fire. These women and their husbands, they are so eager to spread the love of Jesus. One of our workers, she just stepped down as being one of our workers, but she came to us right after graduating with her education degree. And we're like, why are you going to come work for us? We just pay a small stipend. Why are you going to come work for us when you could go into a classroom and teach and make more money? And she said, well, I told God if I could get my degree, I was going to give him 3 years first. So she came on, and instead of working as a teacher, she came on and gave her life to mission. Our ladies are so excited to be a part of this. It's humbling. We've asked them, how has your status in your community changed since you became a healthcare worker? One worker told us how she went from being ridiculed and shunned because she was a Christian. But now, because she has this education and these skills as a healthcare worker, she is looked up to and respected. Our last trip to India, we were there in this last January. We were talking with our ladies, and we asked them, how are things going? Are men treating you better now? And they're like, oh yes, we're being treated much better. And that was great. And then another one of our workers popped up and she said, but even better, we're noticing these men are treating other women with more respect as well. This is a ripple effect. We train one worker, and she goes out and she affects her whole community. If you want to change a community, change the life of a woman. She's the one who does the cooking, she raises the kids, she fetches the water, she takes care of all of those things. If you teach her how to do that in a healthy manner, her kids are healthy, her husband's healthy. One of the reasons why these men are starting to show more respect towards other women is because they're also being told that it's not healthy and good to be an alcoholic. And these men are starting to listen. It's amazing. I have to pinch myself. This is my job. This is what I get to do. So our workers provide first aid services, advice on health and diet, and a few of them have even gotten to deliver babies when they wouldn't wait for the ambulance to come. So we are always changing and adapting what we do and how we do it based on things that we learn. We have just started another project with the Ultimate Mission because of a phone call I got from my friend Robin.
Hello, my name is Rochelle. I'm with Ultimate Mission, and I am so excited to share with you an update about our newest project, Every Girl. Every Girl is a movement where women are coming along to help other women by providing reusable menstrual pads for girls and women who simply can't afford them. I learned about this project through a friend, and I knew that we needed to do something with it because I knew there was a great need, especially in India and Nepal. I have heard a lot about the stigma and shame that goes along with periods and how hard it is to get disposable products. So I started to research more about this project. And fortunately, we were also getting ready to head to Ethiopia, which I didn't know as much about. So with the help of a couple of churches, we put together about 20 kits to take over there, to talk with the ladies there, and to see how this product would work in Ethiopia. Man, was that eye-opening. We went into Ganette's village. She's one of our research workers there. And I got to sit down and talk with women about what it's like to have a period in Ethiopia. I learned that it's kind of like here in the States where we just don't really talk about it. It's not for polite conversation. And it's also very expensive to get disposable products. So they just use whatever old rags that they can find. I'd only taken about 11 kits into this village. And I had told my worker that we only could have 11 women come because I didn't want to leave anybody out about handing out kits. By the time I was done talking and sharing with these women, I had a group of 30 to 40 women. And I tell you, that was one of the hardest things I have ever done, was to give out 11 kits when there's so many women and the need is so great. And I left them promising them that I would bring them more kits. And so I'm hoping that you will help us. A simple a reusable pad. It can change a life. Millions of girls miss school every month because of their periods. Because they don't have the product. It's too shameful if they bleed through. Some will drop out of school altogether once they start their periods. So can you imagine the simple basic needs we take for granted here in the States? It's so hard for them to get there. I actually learned something else too. It can be challenging to get the product here in the United States for some people. So period poverty is not just a global need, it's a local need as well. We're asking for churches to come alongside with us. A hands-on project that makes a huge impact in the life of a girl, in the life of a woman. Will you come alongside, help us by sewing or by donating material or even funds to help us, to help me keep a promise I made to Ganette's village. I'd like to get as many kits into as many hands of these women and girls as I possibly can. Will you help me change a life?
How many of you have heard the term period poverty before? I saw one hand. I hadn't heard it before researching in this as well. So period poverty is not only the inability to just afford your product that you need, but it's access to sanitation and hygiene facilities and education. One thing that just floored me is in India, Nepal, and I know many other countries, but these are the ones that I have specifically researched more about because that's where we're working. It is so shameful for these girls to have a period. They can't even say the word period out loud. It's just, they just can't. And they don't know why they have periods. And you should hear some of the beliefs that they have about a period. I just learned a new one the other day. If a snake rolls over your pad, your period will stop. But these women are considered unclean. They can't go to temple when they're on their period. They can't go into their kitchen. In Nepal, they're not supposed, in backwater places, they don't go into their homes. They have to be outside, either in a hut, a cave, a shelter. Women die under these conditions because every month they have to be outside. And so we want to provide them with the materials that they need to feel safe to go to school and to go to work. But more importantly, we want to educate these people on why they have their periods, how to take care of themselves, and make this not a shameful thing. And so that girls can feel good about themselves. And our workers can help us do just that. These kits that we are making and we can hand out are an avenue for our workers to go into a girl's home and say, I care. Let's make your life better. If you're interested more in this project, I will be hanging around outside. I've got some samples and stuff. But I also want to share another thing I shared in the video. Period poverty happens right here in Caldwell. It happens right here in the United States. Millions of girls here will miss school because of their periods, too. It's getting better, but there's still a long ways to go. And so if you want to have a project that helps around the world, but also you can reach out to the girls in your community, come talk to me. We have an option how you can put together disposable kits or to get donations for disposable products that you can give to local shelters, women's homes, schools, places that need them that not always provided. Did you know that WIC and SNAP do not cover period products? So if you're on assistance for low income, your period products are not covered. So, like I said, one of the big things is when it comes to this issue, the product is great, but education is even more. And we are hoping to start that conversation. So we have partnered with organizations such as Gospel Outreach, Global Mission Pioneers, and Jesus for Asia to train the wives of their Bible workers. Oops. We have found that more doors are opened when the healthcare message does the knocking. People realize that they are seen, they are heard, they are cared about for more than just a conversion. The health message opens the doors of Hindu homes, Muslim homes, atheist homes. We've had many stories where gospel outreach workers will go around and nobody will invite them in. Nobody wants to hear them. But then their wives start going around and start doing the health care work. And now these Bible workers are getting invited in and offered a chair. Ellen White was onto something when she talked about health care being the right arm of the gospel. But we don't go to these homes to convert them. We go to these homes because we love them. They are children of God, and we want to do everything we can to help them. And hopefully, they will ask why we are doing this. Hopefully, they will notice that we are different, and then we can now share that gospel message. Ultimate mission's goal is to go into all the nations that God leads us to. He's leading us to our 6th new one this summer. I am very excited about that. We're going to have 11 new workers in El Salvador going to their neighbors. But we want to go from 300 workers to 1,000. Last month, our workers visited 30,445 people. Last month. Can you imagine if we reached our goal of 1,000? That means 100,000 people's lives could be touched each month. And that comes to 1,200,000 in a year. The workers are there. They are ready. But they need your support. The ultimate goal is to reduce the amount of suffering in this world because we know it's only getting worse. And to hasten Jesus' soon coming. He said he won't come until all have had the chance to hear about him and make that decision. We're doing our best. We're doing our best Whom shall I send? And who will go for us? You might not be able to go physically around the world and tell everybody, but all can go where God calls. There are so many hurting out there. We're asking you to step out in faith with us and go. Dear Father, 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. You have given me so many blessings, and I thank you. And I just pray that you will continue to call to each and every one of us. Show us our passions, our desires. Show us where you are leading us. And bring you home. Jesus, we want you to come back. This world is not our home. We are ready for you. Please help us to get ready and to ready those around us. In your name I pray. Amen. Again, I will be out in the foyer. If you have any questions, want to hear any more stories, I can talk a lot on this.